Actually, we've produced more. It's actually what we have sold to end users. And approximately 50,000 end users or customers use our products monthly in the 3 states we operate in, which are California, Nevada, and Oregon.
From MJBulls Media, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show. Today on Raising Cannabis Capital, we are joined by Kiran Sidhu, the CEO of Halo Labs. Kiran, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Halo Labs is a publicly traded extraction company, and on today's show, we're going to talk about your plans for the future and how investors can take part in your success. But before we do, I'd like to have you walk through just some basics. We get so many emails from listeners who have a lot of cannabis experience, but it's with flower, smoking it and edibles, and I thought you'd be the perfect person, if you don't mind, just taking a step back and explaining to us oils and concentrates.
Sure, I'd love to. So when you smoke flower, the active ingredient of the flower is what's known as oleoresin, or the sap, as you would see on trees, that's secreted by the flower in order to attract seeds, because flowers are female. And so what extraction is just a modern day process in order to extract all the oleoresin from the flower. In the old days, this was done using screens, and the resulting product was hash. What we are doing is actually extracting and making modern day hash oil, which is used for a variety of things, from vape cartridges to edibles to topicals.
Okay. Interesting. I've never heard it explained like that before. I know our listeners are going to appreciate that. And I got to say that from an oil and concentrate expert, there are very few people that are probably at your level. I know there's very few people on the planet who've produced over, is it 3.5 million grams of oil and concentrate?
Well, actually, we've produced more. It's actually what we have sold to end users.
Holy
and
cow.
Approximately 50,000 end users or customers use our products monthly in the 3 states we operate in, which are California, Nevada, and Oregon.
Now's a good time to tell us about Halo Labs.
So Halo Labs is a manufacturer of cannabis oil and concentrates. We founded Halo Labs in 2016, but in previous companies, we had been also in extraction. So we're kind of unique in the sense that we all have blue chip backgrounds, but we've actually been packing columns and extracting since 2013. And Halo Labs was actually started in a chicken coop where we basically kicked out the chickens and we started packing columns and doing butane extraction in an open loop system. And then we would actually take the crude oil we made there and we would finish it in Andreas Met, one of our co-founders' garages. And at the time, it was a medical regime, so we would put it in the back of Grady Smith's Toyota Celica, and then he would sell it to local dispensaries, medical card to medical card.
That's great. That's a great story. And, it's even better. You're Ivy League educated. You went to Wharton School of Business, and here you are driving around. It's just, you wouldn't expect that, but that's how it's done. It's very exciting that you guys rolled up your sleeves and got it. I give you a lot of credit for that.
It was quite the time, quite the time.
Well, you have your own brand, and you also provide private label products for many of the the largest companies in the industry. What's your brand named?
Okay. So we have multiple brands that in multiple states that address multiple segments. So we have Hush, which is our sort of everyday value brand, and that is in California and in Oregon. We have a high-end brand called Guilt, which actually is the only branded product that carries the dab tabs or the dab tab dablets, which is a unique product which enables people to smoke concentrates using vape pen as opposed to having sticky concentrates and having to use concentrates in the traditional method of a blowtorch, sitting down and, what they call dabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have other specific brands, Mojave, which is one in Nevada that addresses sort of a middle market need. And we have Black Hat, which is another middle market brand, but is more heavily geared towards concentrate users.
I see.
In addition, as you said, we do a lot of white labeling. We do white labeling for Nectar, which is the largest dispensary chain in Oregon. We do some for Caliva, which is one of the larger dispensary chains in California. And we just announced a distribution deal with Ease to do dab tabs with them. And we hope that that will expand to other product lines, given the fact that they're, arguably the largest dispensary chain, even though they're a delivery chain in California.
Well, 50,000 users, and those are just in those 3 states. When we were scheduling our interview today, we had to wait for you to get back from Africa because you just recently signed a deal to distribute your products in Africa, which to me is so exciting. Can you just give us a little bit of that story?
So in 2019, we're increasing our sales, and we have this, it's pretty much our projected trajectory to go from approximately 10 million US last year, which was primarily Oregon, to approximately 48 million US this year, which would include California and Nevada as well as Oregon. And then next year, those 3 markets would grow, in particular California. But the future really is outside the United States. If I look at the market that has the most potential for growth, it's Europe. The best way to serve the European market is really through Africa. And so you're seeing companies now investing in Africa and in Colombia and other places where you can grow for export.
Okay.
And in Africa, we have a deal in the country of Lesotho, which is in the north center of South Africa. It's known as the Switzerland of Africa. We're at 1,000 meters. We have pristine water. We have untilled land. We have abundant labor. We have abundant UVB light. May 25th is the equivalent of Thanksgiving. So in Thanksgiving, the sun was hot. The weather was 73 degrees. And it was just beautiful conditions to grow biomass. And in addition to that, we're negotiating with the government there to give us a 10,000 square meter facility to extract. And from there, we would do it under what's known as good manufacturing or pharmaceutical auspices for sale within Africa, as well as export into Europe. And we think that is a huge market.
So you can export from that country. Oh my gosh.
It's a beautiful license. It's a very stable regime. It's a principality and it's a constitutional monarchy. I met with the deputy prime minister, with the cabinet. Our partner there is one of the most successful African women, private equity investor. I think her fund is $250 million. She sat on the board of Sun International, South African Airways. So we have a really good infrastructure there, and we hope to start exporting next year. And we think that is a exponential growth engine. And we're not the only ones. So Bedrocan in Holland with the Swarovski, the Crystal family is there. Supreme invested in a company called Metagrow, and they're there. Canopy is there, and others are coming because they see what we see, which is a great opportunity to have high quality concentrates and oils as well as flour for export into Europe and potentially Canada and Australia.
Wow, that's so exciting. You're unlocking an entire continent. That code has been very tricky to pick. Well, congratulations. That's really exciting. Well, we've been speaking with Kiran Sidhu from Halo Labs, which is a publicly traded company. And we'll have all this information on the MJBulls website. But so I have a feeling that a lot of our listeners, are going to see this as, like I see it, as a really good opportunity to make an investment early on a company that you're really just getting started, and you already have, like you said, 50,000 users already. This is very exciting times.
Definitely.
So, Kiran, thanks for being on the show today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Good luck with this.